Welcome to another Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. And today's video is, does this belong on the bottom shelf? Now, for those not familiar with the term bottom shelf, typically a bottom shelf whiskey is literally found on the bottom of the shelf of a liquor store, or it's often referred to as a lower end whiskey. So for the purpose of this video series of does it belong in the bottom shelf, it's going to fit one or both categories. So category number one is, was it literally on the bottom of the shelf at a liquor store? And I'm going to say, was it under $25? In this particular case, this John Barr blended Scotch Whisky Reserve Blend was on the bottom shelf, and it was $20. So before we open up this whiskey and decide, does this belong on the bottom shelf, I would love to hear what you would consider a bottom shelf whiskey. Would you say it is something that's literally on the bottom of the shelf? What would be your price point? And what are some of your favorite surprise bottom shelf whiskeys? I do have to say, I like the look of this bottle. I think if you put it on your bar, you wouldn't necessarily know this is a bottom shelf whiskey, except for, yep, when you screw this off, I think that's obviously an indicator. Let's go ahead and pour a little bit in. Let that sit for a second. Place this down. Now, as often that I've talked about on the video, I'm not the best when it comes to talking about the nose, the taste, and the finish. Typically, I like what I like, but let's go ahead and see what I can determine. Okay, so I do get a little cinnamon. It tells me there's going to be a little spice on this. I feel like I'm getting a hint of orange. Let's go ahead and take a sip. Okay. A teeny, yeah, I can taste the cinnamon. Actually, this is going down much smoother than I would expect for what would be considered a bottom shelf whiskey. It's not harsh at all. Let me take another sip. And I do like the smell as this is opening up. This actually tastes like Johnny Walker Red a lot. Yeah, you know what? I think if I put this next to Johnny Walker, and put this next to it, especially if it sat out there for a minute, it definitely tastes a little bit like Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker Red. All right, yeah, I kind of like that. You know, for $20, you can't go wrong with this. This is something I could sit and sip on. I have a feeling it would be a little bit of water or ice. Definitely would open this up. This would make a perfect mixer. And that's one of the great things about if you're looking at what people would consider a bottom shelf whiskey or a lower price whiskey, is if you're looking to make mixed drinks, nobody wants to use their $100 bottle of whiskey or scotch on a mixed drink. But for a $20 bill, you know, I'll sit and mix this all day, every day. Let me go ahead and take one more sip. Yeah, I really like that. So I really would like to hear what your thoughts and opinion on this John Barr blended Scotch whiskey. Like I said, I've never had it before. I'm pleasantly surprised. I will definitely have to go and pick up a couple more bottles. Yeah, let me do this one more taste. So I would definitely say this does not belong on the bottom shelf. I would not consider this a bottom shelf whiskey in the sense of it. You shouldn't get it. So, you know, again, technically, the bottom shelf is you're picking up on the bottom shelf. Is it going to be? We're going to say it's under $25. But the purpose of this video is more of, does it belong on the bottom shelf? In other words, where you put it on a lower classification. And no, I would definitely say, for my vote, for my money, that this John Barr blended Scotch whiskey is not a bottom shelf whiskey. I would love to hear your thoughts, comments on what your experience is and what you think of John Barr, and would love to hear some comments and suggestions on other whiskeys that would be considered on the bottom shelf that you would like me to try. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Really appreciate everybody who watches the channel. And until next time, folks, cheers.